Okay, so we're going to talk about AMD and Microsoft. They are expanding their strategic relationship. I'm going to show you exactly what this means and how this impacts you as an AMD holder. My name is Austin. If you're new to me, hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. I am in Vail Village this week on vacation with my family, so I apologize for any sound quality issues we've got here, but I'm trying to get this video done for you guys. So I want to talk about AMD and Microsoft, the strategic agreement that has already been in place, but they're expanding it and it's getting even bigger, and that's what's really worthy and worth taking note here. Okay, so if you're new to me, please hit that subscribe button, because again, I want to build a community here around all AI stocks, memory, chips, AMD, Broadcom, NVIDIA, Micron, all that kind of stuff. And my vision and my goal is real simple, guys, is to help you navigate the space, help you make more money, keep you informed and all that. So this is what we're going to do here. Okay, so you can see right now AMD is lifting 3%, $15 and change. The overall market has been interesting to watch today. We've got, let me refresh this real quickly and make sure you guys can see this. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we got the NASDAQ was up about 250 points about 30 minutes ago as of recording this video. And I'm recording this video around 11 a.m. Colorado time, but it's dropping a little bit. The NASDAQ is actually dropping as we're watching it, and the Dow has been down. Now, NASDAQ's up because we've had a nice lift in all of the tech and AI stocks. But ultimately, I think this is a little bit of it. Trump's temporary global tariffs are set to expire this Friday. I think that's what's impacting the Dow. And, you know, the continuation of the Iran-US conflict, you know, there's been more bombing, things of this nature. So I think that's kind of what's dragging the overall market. But I'll keep an eye on the NASDAQ for you on that. So let's go back and kind of jump into what we're seeing on AMD and see AMD's even dropping. So it was up about 3.5% literally when I started the video, and now it's dropping. It's just below 3% there on that. So we got a little bit of a volatile market playing out. Okay, so back to what we were talking about here on the Microsoft AMD strategic announcement. So Microsoft has announced an expanded strategic partnership. They were already partners with AMD, but they're expanding it. And what I like about this, and the reason I wanted to make this video for you guys, is that this gives us a lot of really great insight into how hyperscalers like Microsoft are going to build and deploy their back-end processing systems for, you know, inference AI, agentic AI. And I think that's why I really wanted to focus on this video for you guys, so that it gives you insight and visibility into the deployment of these systems, and really kind of goes back to that narrative of that we continue to see every week. You know, our company's going to stop spending CapEx dollars on inference and agentic AI deployment, you know, hundreds of billions and ultimately trillions and blah, 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 blah. And I think that what I want you to walk in this video with is that, like, no, they're not. I mean, because you're talking about companies like Microsoft, they are at the forefront of developing and deploying technology to enable, you know, major companies for their clients, their major companies across the entire globe to be able to deploy AI-based systems. Okay, and so that's why this is important. Okay, so Microsoft's announced a strategic partnership with AMD, the expansion of it to deploy the AMD Helios AI system, quote, at scale. I like that, on Microsoft Azure. Okay, if you don't know what Microsoft Azure, go Google that. It's impressive. I mean, it has been for a long time an impressive back-end infrastructure platform that companies use globally. All right. So this move is from AMD is designed to challenge NVIDIA's dominance with the integrated rack scale platform. Okay. Will power frontier AI model inference and expand Azure's cloud infrastructure with new high performance AMD computing instances. Okay. But here's where we get some visibility into what this looks like. Okay. So key elements. Microsoft is officially, keyword there, officially adopting the AMD Helios rack scale solution across Azure. And this combines AMD Instinct GPUs, 6th generation Venice CPUs from AMD, Pensando networking, and ROCm software. Also, Microsoft's introducing 2 new VM lines and so forth. But I like this because this gives us really good insight into what that infrastructure is going to look like with AMD integrating and being part of the power of the platform, the Azure platform. That's what I really think is important, and ultimately how this impacts and shows how Microsoft is planning to build and deploy inference AI and agentic AI platform technology to then sell to their customers. That's the key thing. Okay. So the expansion deepens AMD's footprints into Azure's backend with broader deployment of Pensando DPUs, integration of AMD Silicon with Azure Boost for optimized networking speed. Timeline is really quick here, guys. Helios hardware platform and new AMD computing instances are scheduled to begin shipping and rolling out to Azure cloud services in the second half of 26, basically in the next 5 to 6 months. Market reaction, we know that has moved up. Okay, so we continue. Now let's jump back over here and see. Yeah, we've got an interesting situation playing out here where AMD is dropping a little bit, 2.79, and the overall market is moving. Let's see if it's continuing to move down or if we're staying. We're still staying at about that 167 points up on the NASDAQ. Okay, so that's what's interesting. I think we got kind of a volatile market playing out. And yeah, but I really, again, wanted to bring you this AMD video to kind of talk to you and really illustrate ultimately how it's going to power and be part of Microsoft's Azure platform. And I think that's the important key thing here. And that's what I always want you to come back to when you see a negative narrative out there, a negative storyline about, this thing or that thing as it relates to AI, and I have different examples that I talk about all the time in my videos, like Ford and General Motors with Micron specifically. I know this is an AMD video, but it's still relevant. You always have to take a step back and look at how and what the AI build out is for. And if you look at like specifically Ford and General Motors with their strategic partnerships with Micron as an example, they're not going to reduce this spend on Micron memory because it goes into their products. And again, Microsoft is not going to stop spending on back-end processes and systems and hardware and technology because they're just going to. My point is very simple, but I'm trying to illustrate that when you start to get scared about like, is AI spending going to slow down? You always need to look at the businesses and look at the business like Microsoft. They're not going to stop. Hyperscalers are not going to stop. Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, so forth. I just really want you to remember that. Okay. So thanks for giving me a few minutes. Drop in the comments below if you have any questions or comments, and we'd love to hear from you. See you.